Hello, this is Nathan, better known as CrazyhermitDM, and this is my podcast, The Hermit's Homebrew. Joining me today is Brent from Langeministudio that can be found on Instagram, as well as Kilk, who can be found on TikTok as well as Twitter. Chase, what did you think about the books that he had found? Like, you basically found a guide to how to build spells.
So that was really good for Toybar, because especially like as a player, what I know about Toybar's background, being the Vathian and being the fact that he is going to eventually create his own universe of if he lived long enough, I guess is a good way to put it.
If he survives long enough, he'll be able to create his own like demi-plane. No, that's a full universe, isn't it?
Yeah, like he's my understanding, and I guess Nathan, you can correct me on this, is the Vathi are basically gods in their own right, just not in this universe. They left this universe long ago.
They were from the Vathi from a really long time ago, and there's just like not a whole lot of them left. And so because someone knows you're a Vathi. Yeah, Loki knows.
Yeah, Mahadi did.
Yeah.
That's why Loki was so interested in me.
So,
because he's like, man, you're doing all kinds of cool stuff. And then I brought the thing up to you, Nathan, about how interesting would it be is if technically every wild mage has the potential to become a Vathi. It's just none of them ever live long enough because they're always killing themselves on accident.
Or getting killed.
Right.
Rest in peace.
And we got the idea for the Vathi, and like you got a little bit of the lore on that. Was you and me talking like one day about like Babylon 5 and like the ancient races from that. Well, I think we even talked about that.
Oh, the shadows, the shadows and the plant race,
yeah.
Oh man, I can't remember what they are. I love that show.
We mentioned on the podcast before, it's just like they mentioned that they're the last two of the ancient races before they moved on to wherever.
Yeah.
And then how does that go? So yeah, they're the last two of the ancient races that have like basically like before the other ones have moved on. The Rhaegar off Spelljammer kind of just remind me of that. Of like, it feels like a little bit of a comparison, or maybe I'm not quite sure when Spelljammer came out for second or third edition. I don't think it was the mid 90s. I think it came out a little bit earlier, but
I think it was a little bit earlier than that. Yeah.
So I don't think it's an homage to Babylon 5 by any means. They do lift a lot of things from Star Trek and Star Wars and Flash Gordon and all that fun stuff. But that was definitely the Vathi's a little bit of a love letter to like Babylon 5 and just like our conversation with that, because like you and me are both like mutual fans of that TV show.
No, it's a good show.
It's also a good TV show, like because like they had all 5 seasons plotted out from the very beginning.
Yeah, and you can really tell.
Yeah,
that it's just like, oh, okay, they hit all their beats, they hit their plot points, they turned when they wanted to turn. And they told just a really good story.
But yeah, that's where so you found a little bit about the lore about the Vathi. You also found the spell book, like I mentioned. You'd found something. I think you found something else as well. I can't not remember.
I got a lot of scrolls out of his office originally. I've used a few of them actually because I realized I'm hoarding scrolls for no real reason.
Keep doing that. Merrick wants you to keep doing that.
Hoarding scrolls?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're like inflict wounds and stuff like that. Like, I don't have anything too crazy. I do have Fire Shield, though, which is interesting because I didn't realize it has 2 properties to it.
Yeah.
And I'm struggling to find places to utilize those scrolls.
Well, if you want to get rid of that inflict wound scroll, Merrick will take it.
Probably, because inflict wounds, isn't that a touch?
Yeah, it's a touch spell, yeah.
So, yeah, so... It's interesting. I like the book that he found, right? Toybar found the perfect book for him because I play him as a pseudo copy mage, right?
Yeah.
I try to make my spells evolve.
Okay.
In the way that I play him, or adjust in some way from what somebody else has done. So, and I've mentioned this before, but when I get new spells that I can choose from, I generally choose from things that are similar to what other people have cast throughout our travels, and usually as recent as I can.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they're like little twists, right? Like the only reason I took Twin Spell on Toybar was because
Rama hit cast 2 Eldritch Blasts.
Yeah, in 2 separate ways. So when we leveled up and I had that split, I'm like, oh, Twin Spell for sure. Because Rama did that. It's just the way that I've been playing this character. I've allowed him to evolve over the course of the campaign. And being a wild mage, like, he doesn't really know how to cast magic, right?
No.
So he just kind of does it.
Yeah, that's the sorcerers in
just
general.
do it. Yeah.
I was actually looking at the fire shield spell. It's kind of like nice, like so.
Yeah, with the chill portion of it.
Yeah. So a 4th level duration lasts 10 minutes for casting one for one action on self. 7 wispy flames wreath your body for the duration, shedding bright light for a 10-foot radius and dim light for an additional 10 feet. You can end the spell by using an action to dismiss it. The flames provide you a warm shield or a chill shield as you choose. The warm shield gives resistance to cold damage. The chill shield resistance to fire. In addition, whenever a creature within 5 feet of you hits you with a melee attack, the shield erupts with flame. The attacker then takes 2d8 fire damage from a worn shield or 2d8 cold damage from the chill side. That's nice.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Nice.
And then, that's actually just really nice. Rama Ox, and I also found, like, I had pointed out to her yesterday, it's like she found basically besides what Merrick had found or I guess Rufus originally, then Merrick inherited it. The last Void Rider book, she probably received the second biggest lore book to the setting this campaign of basically it's a memoir from the Cerulean sage basically describing how he regrets he's the reason why the aberrations exist.
Oh.
And his guilt behind that and his opening war against these aberrations and basically what he's tried to combat before it kind of got out of hand.
Is he still present in our universe out of curiosity?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
He's like this role to Elminster and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's Elminster or Mordenkainen of this set.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And then, of course, just stroke my own ego. Just he is based after me. I put myself in my own setting.
Yeah, of course. Because who wouldn't?
As you would.
I mean,
exactly.
That's literally the logo of this podcast is me in blue robes, and that's the reason why I chose it is because that's me. So
there you go.
The dude in our setting's a lot older and 400 years old, so he looks very more Gandalf-ish or Elminster.
got the beard down past his belly button and everything.
I don't know about that. I haven't really thought about too much on his appearance, but definitely a lot older. Unfortunately, the funny part of the treasury was because Nick was actually playing with us. Uh-huh. We had ramped up to fight the golem, and he was all super excited. And then just I know if you had known that I'd told him, hey, there's going to be a fight, you probably wouldn't have done it. But it's still a very toy bar move. You geist the golem and basically just diffuse the combat within the first round.
Yeah, because since he's not playing his gunslinger character anymore, he's playing a monk character. He's never been in combat. So he's like, oh, we're gonna have a fight. Oh, this is gonna be awesome. And then Toy Bar just goes, hey, guess what? You're my friend now. Oh, okay, cool. And then he just off in the corner just starts screaming.
Yeah, I felt a little bad about that.
I mean, it's you could use the defense. It's I was literally just playing my character. That is the most toy bar move.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I really only did that because I wanted to do it. Right? It was I tried to cast dice on the Lindworm, and unfortunately had the legendary reaction. Right?
Yeah.
And so he passed it, and because it didn't, and I only cast. I can only cast that briefly, right?
What do you mean?
I can only cast it. If I'm going to cast that spell, I want it to last a long time. So I try to always cast it at highest level. And the Lindworm, if that would have been level 9, he didn't have that. That would have been so funny. So I just want to see what Geist does. And I didn't even know if it would work, right? I didn't know that this thing was a construct at the time. I was just like, oh, it's like a mean dog. I'm gonna make him kind of like me. It was fun.
Dog liking them, Come on.
Right? Yeah. Well, now he gets a mean dog, and now I've got a new buddy. I'm building a stable, or what am I building? I got the secret dogo idol. Yeah. I got the other dog. Yeah.
You got
Toy Bars
secret.
Yeah, and wait till I start hitting people with that what's it called, the death finger, if I ever have to do that.
Oh, you're gonna get freaking zombies going.
Oh geez, yeah, that's right.
Death. Yeah,
have your own little personal army going.
Yeah
And that's not, I have no intentions of that spell ever coming out, to put that out there. That spell is Toy Bar's things are going down and this is his last chance to not die, right?
Yeah.
Or in super anger, right? He's gonna cast Finger of Death at somebody.
It's your Vegeta against Majin Buu move of.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was a overall like very interesting session. You guys went through that, got a long rest, got a little role playing in, had some fun actually. I think, and it was a nice little change from the shifting rooms to the boss fight. Oh, and then also you get out after the battle and come to find out that Mahadi is now in your sword.
Yeah, he's freaking talking to me now. Didn't even know that sword did that.
And it's basically it's a homebrewed version of Black Razor from Forgotten Realms, but a lot less depowered in some areas.
Yeah, it's been nerfed a little bit. And I appreciate Nate doing that, because after I found out that my vampiric sword took his soul in, Nate and I were talking. He was like, "Hey, look, this is what I'm doing with it." I was like, "Oh, okay." So I started looking at Black Razor, and I noticed that at the very end, it was like, unless it eats a soul every 3 days, it goes into conflict with its wielder. And that really kind of struck me personally from like, I don't know if I'm comfortable with that, because especially with where we're at, what we're doing, it's going to be difficult to continually find a soul for this sword to eat and to justify it to my party. Of like, oh, hey, I'm going to go kill this guy real quick. Whoa, why? Well, because my sword needs to eat. Whoa, what? What are you talking about? You know, it's like, there's going to be some questions that come up, you know? I'm like, you know, and that's just like, I don't want to put my party through that. And two, I don't want to go through that. I don't want to have to be like, okay, I got to go kill something real quick, you know? I'm like, so I was like, hey, Nate, straight up, if this is Black Razor and it's got that ability, I will find a way to remove curse to where it's no longer bound to me, and then I will find a way to destroy it. And he's like, oh, okay, cool. Thanks for the heads up. So he has modified Black Razor to be more palpable to me, but still it has its negative sides. Yeah.
And it still has a negative function, in which you actually found out one of the negative functions the last session of when you kill something else and gain those temporary hit points. It gains the soul of the thing, so it basically can house multiple souls, and then you start hearing multiple.
I hear multiple voices in my head, yeah, to where it's like I was talking to Tove, and she was like, "Oh wait, the queen's in your sword now. The queen bug, since I killed it, it's in the sword now, and my hit points have doubled or more."
Yeah, no. So it's
a temporary thing, right?
Yeah, temporary hit points. So the temporary hit points reset to her maximum hit point.
Yeah, so I have my 145 regular hit points for me, plus whatever her hit points were. So it's like, oh shit.
You have double HP.
What I'm saying is those are temporary, right?
Yes.
Like that wears off after like a day or something.
24 hours. Yeah.
24 hours, yeah. And then after 24 hours, that soul in the sword just goes, and it's gone. It's destroyed.
Yeah.
And it can only come back now with a wish spell.
And I think I caught your like attention when I go, unless you figure out how to unhouse it from your sword.
Yes, you absolutely caught my attention on that one. Where it's just like, oh, this is bad. So I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like,
the question I have is, how is Mahadi still in there?
Mahadi is the one that activated its latent power.
Mahadi's basically the one that transformed it. Because it was just it was just a soul sucking sword, and because he's an archdemon, his power will just say for magic purposes and just to make it a badass sword. His soul transforming the sword into that is what made it that.
Exactly. It's because
the same way that Surtur's spark probably was in a shield, and then suddenly the shield can eat things.
Now the shield can eat stuff. Yeah, exactly. So
your reaction to that?
Because I shield bashed a spider, and all of a sudden, crunch. What? I look down, there's like spider legs sticking out of the faces. Like, what the hell?
That talks to our earlier conversation, I guess at this point, earlier episode of how do you make a scary villain, or how do you make somebody take you seriously. You took that sort of stuff of like the intelligent shield that suddenly eats the monster you just killed, literally eats it because it has a face on the face of the shield.
Yeah.
And then you suddenly like, oh, what have I gotten myself into?
Yeah. Like, oh, this thing can what? Wait, what? Yeah. So getting I'm really interested in Black Razor, because when you said that unless you find a way to remove it, I'm now sitting here going, oh, don't give Merrick that ability. because I could literally see like the head museum from Futurama. Just hey, here's like here's a toy bar's jar of preserving whatever there, and I have a soul in there. I can now touch like, hey, I need to talk to you. And Short's like, that could be like a fucking a Jedi holocron almost now.
Yeah, that, or I was thinking the ghost from Zelda of Ocarina of Time, where you had to go collect the X amount of ghosts for a side quest or something.
Oh,
like
the
that.
pose
Jars,
yeah. Yep, yeah, exactly. Where it's like, oh, this
sword is also very similar to Soul Cage.
So yeah, Soul Cage, the spell that Rama has.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
which I think is really useful.
Yes, absolutely.
And you realized that yesterday when you started like reading into it and like helping her figure stuff out, and like, oh, we chose this spell, and then you like started going into it. I'm like, oh, dang.
Yeah, I initially took it because Soul Cage, she can use the soul to heal herself, right? She can just siphon life out of the soul.
Yeah, 2d6
and it doesn't. Yeah, and it doesn't. The other stuff was just like, oh, okay, the other stuff is cool too. But then I started thinking about it, like it's Speak with Dead.
Yep.
It's Soul Siphon. It's got all kinds of fun stuff in there. And after 6 uses, the soul leaves. Right. So when I looked at this spell, I was trying to look at Rama's character when we were looking at spells, and I knew that she wouldn't go for a spell that just like outright killed somebody, right? Like it's taking that soul and you're going to abuse the crap out of that soul, and then you're going to smash that soul out of existence. Like he, as a player, would not be okay with that, right? But at the end of it, it talks about after you've used the 6 charges, the soul is freed, and it can go off and do what you want. Plus, it has the enhanced ability. Basically, you can get advantage on anything that she does with it. Like, it's wild. It's so cool.
Yeah. If used properly, that's a really powerful spell. Holy cow.
I just looked up the Fire Hive Queen for the Wasp. So you gained 70 temporary hit points for the next 24 hours.
70? That's all she had?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Those Fire Wasps, all they had. The soldiers only had 60. The Fire Wasps only had 50.
Oh, okay.
You guys were mowing through them, but you guys are level 13 and now 14. You guys leveled up at the end of the session.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we made Colfax stay behind.
Yes. So we'll rewind a tiny bit, just because the viewer probably doesn't know quite how we got to the Fire Wasp.
Yeah.
So you guys do the treasure. You guys meant to go out to the front room and talk to the, basically in quotations, as Mahadi told you in the news sword. He goes, oh, I left it to the bartender. The wandering porum's going to the bartender.
Left the wandering porum to the bartender, yeah.
He's like my most trusted person and my most loyal. And so you guys go to talk to him. Basically, you guys get shifted out to the front of the tents. And in the meantime, you guys have rescued Silvera from that heart. I forgot to mention that. I think we mentioned on a previous podcast, but I cannot remember.
I don't know. But yeah, we had during the boss fight with Mahadi, there was a big magical heart that had her in it. And it was siphoning magic out of her. And that was going to the Lindworm?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And so, yeah, we're like, okay, well, we've got it. So, yeah, Tove was going and cutting the veins of the heart while I 1v1'd Mahadi and everyone else fought the Lindworm, yeah.
Well, Colfax tried to bite one off and Ozzy Osbourne it. But
yeah, that's right. He did, didn't he?
But you guys get all out to the front of the tents because it shifts you basically back outside with Silvera. That was the other thing in the treasury. Like, it was a really good, I think, roleplay moment for Toy Bar Chase was... you're basically like, you just kind of, for lack of a better word vomited all over her everything you guys have done. And you guys you like dropped like 5 or 6 names of like some of the most powerful people in this campaign setting, of like the people you've run into. And of course she's just like, okay, sure.
Yeah, you met Joe Biden, you met Bruce Springsteen, you met, so it's like, No, I totally did. No, you didn't.
And then you like drop Piggy's name, and it's like, basically it's the real world. It's like you've run into the Sir Isaac Newton of necromancy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she didn't believe me until we got back out, and then Higgy like rode by.
Yeah.
And
then was flicking me off, and I was waving at her like we were friends. It was great.
And then she like,
the Toy Bar thinks she's a friend. She gave me something.
I mean, she definitely isn't an enemy. I'm not going to lie.
Everybody teaches Toy Bar.
Yes.
But he did turn down a spell this last session.
That is true. I was really actually kind of shocked that happened.
How does that go about again, Chase? I cannot fully remember who off.
Toy Bar has decided he is leaving the Magic Council because he doesn't believe, in reality, he just doesn't believe they take him seriously.
Yeah.
And which is fair.
To be
as a player, I'm like,
seriously, so.
Exactly, right. And I would have to imagine that throughout our travels and downtimes and stuff like that, these conversations have come up like, hey, they just sent you out here to die, right? Like, and also, and so over time, these things are like, yeah, they sent us out here to do this and that, and then they just left us. And sure, she came and kept her word. She did. But like, when I told her that I had Lamach's journal that he died, she didn't really care. She was like, oh yeah, Lamach. But
yeah. But he got drug off by spiders. Oh, okay, that sucks.
He did.
No, but that's a terrible way to die.
It is. She didn't argue with that. You guys left the Wandering Emporium, though, and headed out towards the volcano. Or Rama kind of like preluded that, hey, there's something that could possibly turn the tide of battle in our favor. Because I think it did get brought up for whatever she thought about going solo, and then kind of changed her mind. And then it got brought up that there's, something there that she's being pointed to thanks to the helmet that will basically turn the tide of favor in the group's favor, as opposed to having to go to a more powerful target such as like a Xingshi or actually like going and trying to reason with Rathgrith. It actually will probably it's an unclaimed spark to a god, so it will actually make you guys a legitimate piece player piece on the table of this overall scheme of the realm. Or at least Rama, if she gets to the spark, if she don't die in the process of trying, which will be very sad if she does. But who knows?
Yeah. Who knows?
Because I got some.
And then what's Silvara? Is that her name?
Silvara.
Yeah. And that's actually straight from the Avernus book. I like that name so much. I didn't even
it's a good name.
Change it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So she's coming with us, and then Merrick.
She offered to teach me chain lightning.
That's right. She did.
She started believing that I am a Vathi and I am what all these other people I have claimed have met have told me I am.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, are you just saying that because you found out I'm a Vathi? And she was like, I mean, maybe. And I was like, yeah, here.
I mean, she didn't
you don't want Toy Bar for Toy Bar.
Yeah, she realizes what power you have, and that you are. It's like this little satyr that basically I ran into back in Herfell that was just like all over the place with ADHD is now severely powerful, and actually she's a level 15 wizard, so you're now level 14, so you're powerful as an archmage.
Power, yeah. To be fair though, Toy, did you like Silvera for Silvera, or did you like her because she could teach you something?
I mean, Toy Bar likes everybody.
Remember,
if they teach me something, he's totally down though.
Yeah, but
they're way better friends if they teach him something.
She turned down your invitation to the No Pants party.
I know. She said nothing but make me sad. Which is unfortunate for her. But Toy Bar did tell her, there's no hard feelings, right? And he does plan to continue to be like an ally of the Mage Council.
Yeah, you're an affiliate.
Yeah, an affiliate. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
You're gonna go for, and I think you actually told her, I'm gonna go form my own group.
Who knows what that'll be, right?
Yeah, who knows? God, can you imagine a council of chaos mages?
Oh, God,
that'd be terrifying.
Or just a general magic council run by Toy Bar.
We would have the most fun ever.
Oh, I'm sure he would, but could you imagine stereotypical Court of the King medieval episodes that you see on a Netflix type show where they have this line of people coming to him and making decisions? Could you imagine Toy Bar sitting on the throne? He'd probably get bored with it, obviously, but just that line of people coming to him and the decisions that he'd come up with on a case by case basis and what those decisions would be.
It'd be wild, right? People would be dying left and right.
Oh my god, it'd be so bad, but so funny. I'd watch that.
But you guys did end up talking to Silvera. You basically handed in your resignation, and then you made friends with the bard that you guys ran into in the Wandering Emporium, Flint, the dwarf bard, or who's a ex-PC of my brother in a previous campaign, which I was texting like my brother throughout the session, and he was just like so happy that he's now technically a traveling companion NPC.
Yep.
He's Toy Bar's new best friend.
Yeah, and you guys played basically a medieval lute whistle, or a medieval lute, and like, what do you play? The pan flute?
Yes, I have pan flute on me.
You guys played the medieval version of A Gangster's Paradise on the way to the volcano. But that first night, you guys like do the traveling, and you have a little bit of talk and all that. I think Silvera was, or no. What was it? Colfax was teaching.
Colfax was teaching Merrick Draconic, because that's the book I found was the Draconic Lexicon.
Yeah, and then I think Toy Bar was doing something before bed, wasn't he?
I think wasn't he reading his book? How to make
probably. It sounds like I do. Yeah, it was pretty much the book, right?
Okay. I thought maybe you talked to Silvera. I just couldn't remember off the top of my head without looking at notes.
I think that was when Toy Bar left, right? And she was like, "What if I teach you this?" And I was like, yeah, I mean, it's cool and all, but Baba Yaga and Higgy are teaching me things too. Like, who are you?
Yeah, who are you compared to them?
That's actually when you handed in your resignation, was that night at the campfire, because you asked her for basically a promotion in the council, and she goes, yeah, we grant you the rank of journeyman. And
I was not happy because I was already a journeyman.
You're already basically, you weren't an apprentice, you were a journeyman.
You did.
I even had journeyman council robes with me. Yeah. And she's like, oh, yeah, I guess. I was like, okay, so you really don't take me seriously. But, that's fine.
She has no.
So, but I also didn't have any ill will towards these people, right? It's not really.
They don't towards you.
Like if they ever came to Toy Bar and was like, Toy Bar, we need your help. Like we need to try to solve X, Y, or Z. He'd be like, oh, let's do it, right?
Oh God, that's like, seems like a plot.
I haven't really figured out a reason, or even somebody that Toy Bar legitimately just doesn't like, right?
No, I don't think there's like any one person that you haven't, like, in quotations, hate or don't. There's a couple people I don't think you've not gotten along with, but I don't think there's anyone like, I don't want anything to do with that fucker type.
It was almost Colfax.
Yeah.
But he redeemed himself.
Colfax, yeah.
I guess that would be like the number one scenario, but like Nick quickly corrected that and just like became contemplative, like, okay, I jumped the gun with this. I don't know if he, as a player,
bought a shot.
Yeah,
that's right.
Oh, he did it in character the right way. I don't know if like as a player he's just like, okay, I'm course correcting. Maybe I jumped in the deep end of the pool a little too quick here. But that's Nick. He just cannonball into the deep end anytime he plays a new character.
Hey tabletop gamers, thank you for watching this episode of the Hermit's Homebrew. We come out with new episodes every Wednesday. Remember to like, subscribe, and share with your friends as we continue to level up and grow.